Close your eyes for a moment. The year is 1453. You stand on the mighty walls of Constantinople. Behind you, your family prays, terrified. In front of you, the ground shakes under the roar of Ottoman cannons. The city that stood for 1,000 years is about to fall. You flee to safety, or stay to watch the end of an era. Or perhaps you're there celebrating. Your prayers have been answered. After centuries, Constantinople has finally fallen to the righteous arms of Islam. The Ottoman cannons thunder, the gates burst open, and you charge into the city with thousands more. The old order is dying, and you are ushering in a new world. Which side are you on? Who are you in this moment of history? This is the story of the Ottoman Empire, a tale of a people who took an idea and built an empire that reshaped the world. The Ottoman Empire is a name synonymous with change. Their existence rewrote history, straddling Europe and the Middle East for over 6 centuries. And in today's video, we want to explore their origins and their impact on the world they inhabited. So join us as we take a deep dive into the rise and fall of the Ottoman Empire. Part 1. A Tribe with a Dream. It's the late 1200s, and you find yourself among the Aghuz Turks in Anatolia. Life is hard, the lands are dry and divided among many tribes. Everyone struggles for a better life. The Arab dynasties of the region rule over fragmented lands, seeking to expand their territories. Caught in between, you yearn for a leader who can unite these lands and bring peace and prosperity. Little do you know, such a leader is emerging in the neighboring Seljuk lands. His name is Osman, and he is different from the other tribal leaders. He has a vision of uniting the Turkish tribes under the banner of Islam and creating a powerful state. His followers called themselves Ottomans after Osman. It was a name that would echo through history. As you look out on the endless horizon, imagine what it must have been like to live during those times. Back then, most people didn't read or write. They learned skills from their families. Kids herded animals or made pottery. After the sun dipped below the hills, villagers huddled around oil lamps to eat, tell stories, and sleep. Life was simple, close-knit, and full of traditions passed down for ages. To survive, they relied on what they knew best: farming, raising animals, crafting goods, and bartering in the marketplace. Travel was tough. Most folks walked or rode on donkeys. Boats plied the rivers and seas, carrying goods and people far and wide. Trade routes linked distant lands and empires, bringing in riches. The Silk Road flourished, weaving together east and west. But how did the Ottomans succeed where other Turkish tribes failed? Part 2. The Conqueror's Glory. Now it's 1453, and you find yourself in Constantinople, the jewel of the Byzantine Empire. For centuries, it has been the seat of power for the Eastern Roman emperors. But trouble is brewing. The mighty walls of the city are shaking under the assault of Ottoman cannons. It is an onslaught unlike any the city has ever seen. Cannons like Big Basilisk, a massive 65-ton cannon, roared, shaking the very foundations of the city. Smoke billowed, and the air grew thick with the stench of gunpowder. The Byzantines fought bravely, but against the disciplined Ottoman ranks and the might of their artillery, it seemed hopeless. Then came May 29th, the day the Ottomans breached the walls and poured into the city. As the Byzantine Emperor Constantine XI bravely fought to the death, the Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II entered the Hagia Sophia, the city's greatest church, now a mosque. He proclaimed himself the new master of Constantinople, and a new era dawned. For the next 4 centuries, the Ottoman Empire thrived, growing from a small Turkish state to a vast realm stretching from the Arabian Peninsula to the gates of Vienna. Imagine yourself exploring this vast empire. Wander through the bustling bazaars of Istanbul, the grand palaces of Topkapi, and the serene courtyards of the Blue Mosque. Feel the pulse of the empire as merchants from Asia, Africa, and Europe gather here, trading not just goods, but ideas and cultures. Attend a classical music concert at the magnificent Sinan Pasha, or marvel at a theatrical performance at the historic Sadri Altınorman Theater. Taste the flavors of the empire in the mouth-watering kebabs, the sweet delights of Turkish delight, and the aromatic waves of cardamom and saffron wafting from the kitchens of the imperial palace. It was a cultural melting pot, a place where traditions intertwined and innovations flourished. Imagine being part of the vibrant cityscape where minarets touched the sky, mosques echoed with prayers, and the call to prayer echoed through the streets. Part 3. An Empire at its Peak. Now picture yourself in the year 1566, standing before the majestic Suleiman the Magnificent. He is widely regarded as the greatest Ottoman sultan, having expanded the empire's borders and reformed its institutions. His court was a hub of intellectual activity and artistic brilliance, attracting scholars and artists from around the world. Over the next decades, the empire continued to flourish, reaching its peak under the reign of Suleiman the Magnificent. Suleiman's conquests extended the empire's borders to include Belgrade, Rhodes, and parts of Hungary. His rule also saw the codification of Ottoman law and the establishment of a centralized bureaucratic system. Under his patronage, arts and architecture thrived. The Suleimani Mosque and the Selimai Mosque became architectural marvels, symbolizing the empire's grandeur. Imagine yourself strolling through the opulent chambers of the Grand Palace in Istanbul, marveling at the intricate tilework and the lavish decorations adorning the walls. It's the year 1574, and you are in the bustling city of Istanbul. Everywhere you look, there's evidence of the empire's wealth. Magnificent mosques pierce the sky. Palaces adorned with exquisite tilework and intricate calligraphy stand proudly. Treasured artworks line the walls of the imperial palaces, showcasing the empire's appreciation for beauty and refinement. And the aromas wafting from spice merchants' stalls mingle with the melodies of lute players serenading passers-by. In the distance, the rhythmic clang of a blacksmith's hammer echoes as artisans craft intricate metalwork, adding to the city's rich tapestry of sights and sounds. The empire's prosperity is palpable, making Istanbul not just a city, but a testament to the Ottomans' grandeur. Part 4. Cracks begin to show. As we shift to the year 1683, you find yourself in Vienna on a cold autumn morning. The air is heavy with tension. The previous night, the Ottoman army laid siege to the city. Outside the city walls, soldiers from the Ottoman Empire are readying themselves for another day of battle. But there's a shift in morale. The usual confidence is replaced by uncertainty. Rumors have spread about the bravery of the Polish king who's come to rescue the city. The Ottomans, once the epitome of military prowess, now face a challenge they hadn't anticipated. Inside the city, hope flickers. The defenders of Vienna are resolute. You feel the shift in the times. The world is changing, and the Ottoman Empire, once invincible, seems vulnerable, and then it happens. News spreads like wildfire through the camps. The Ottomans have been defeated. The Poles and the Viennese have won.
Yes.
It's a moment that shatters the illusion of invincibility that has surrounded the Ottoman Empire for decades. What does it mean for an empire that has always been on the offensive? How will they recover from this defeat? These questions echo through the ranks, leaving the soldiers unsure of what lies ahead. The once proud Ottoman soldiers pack up their tents, their steps heavy with dejection. They leave Vienna not as conquerors, but as the vanquished. The cannons that once boomed with the promise of victory are silent, replaced by the mournful strains of a retreating army. Part 5. The Fall. As the 18th century dawns, you find yourself in a rapidly changing world. The Ottoman Empire, once the dominant force in Eastern Europe and the Mediterranean, now faces a stark reality. Its power has waned, and European nations are encroaching upon its territories. The mighty walls of Constantinople, once a symbol of the empire's strength, now seem like relics of the past. The seeds of discontent have been sown. Nationalistic movements are sprouting across the empire, challenging the Ottoman rule. Greeks dream of independence, fueled by the flames of enlightenment. As Europe embarks on a journey of scientific and industrial revolution, the Ottoman Empire remains stagnant, trapped in the confines of tradition. Then comes the Crimean War in 1853. The Ottomans, allied with the British and French, find themselves at war with Russia. It's a conflict that exposes the empire's fragility, highlighting its military and economic weaknesses. The war ends with the Treaty of Paris in 1856, which grants Russia further territorial gains within the Ottoman Empire. To many, it becomes a symbol of the empire's irreversible decline. The late 1800s witnessed a surge in nationalism across the globe. For the Ottoman subjects, it sparked a desire for self-rule. The Young Turks movement emerged, advocating for modernization and reforms to counterbalance the growing nationalist sentiments. The empire, already burdened by internal strife, found itself on the brink of collapse. As the 20th century approaches, the world stands on the threshold of a new era. World War I looms, and the Ottomans make a fateful decision to align themselves with the Central Powers. The war, devastating and transformative, drains the empire's resources both physically and economically. When the war ends with the Armistice of Mudros in 1918, the Ottoman forces surrender their arms. On October 1919, Turkish nationalists led by Mustafa Kemal Ataturk seized the port of Smyrna, marking the beginning of the Turkish War of Independence. The Ottoman Sultan, Mehmed VI, driven by desperation, proclaims the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire on November 1, 1922. The empire that once spanned 3 continents is no more. Conclusion. The Ottoman Empire's story is one of ambition, courage, betrayal, and survival. From its humble beginnings under Osman to its glorious heights under Suleiman the Magnificent, the empire's journey was marked by both triumph and tragedy. It was a crucible of cultures where East met West, where faith and politics intertwined, and where the threads of multiple civilizations wove together. Yet empires rise and fall, and with it, a way of life disappears. The winds of change swept across the world, carrying with them the seeds of revolution and modernization. While the Ottoman Empire stood firm in its traditions, it failed to adapt to the shifting tides. The spirit of innovation that had once defined its early years was replaced by stagnation, leading to its eventual demise. Yet even in its final moments, the legacy of the Ottoman Empire endured. The art, the architecture, the poetry, and the cultural exchanges that had flourished under its rule became cornerstones of the regions it once dominated. As we reflect on the Ottoman Empire's journey, let us remember that empires may crumble, but the echoes of their achievements resonate through the corridors of history. And now we want to hear from you. What aspect of the Ottoman Empire fascinated you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more captivating historical tales. Your engagement fuels our journey through time. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the past.